All right, y'all, I'm gonna be going over your cross now, also known as your number 2 punch, right? This is your primary power shot, right down the pipe, right at your opponent, all right? It's all gonna start back in that good stance. Now, I wanna go over what your lower body's doing first in this punch, because I find that's a little harder to get down. So let's start there. So with our hands up, I'm gonna work on pivoting that foot, throwing my hip towards my opponent while staying level. 50% of my weight on my left, 50% of the weight on my right, just like this, right? Working that pivot, it goes right back down from the ball of the foot, putting the foot back down in starting position, just like that. Once you get comfortable here, adding in the punch isn't too hard, right? Just making sure that the foot goes on the ball of the foot, not staying flat like this, shifting your weight too far back, right? So on the ball of that foot with the pivot. Now, once you're comfortable here, as we add the punch in, punch is thrown very similar to how the jab is, right? So the punch comes straight out, straight out, straight out. At the very end, that thumb snaps down, pulling that shoulder over top of your chin, and the left shoulder is going to pull back, maximizing the length of it, right? Comes back in the same way it went out. Thumb unturns, hand returns back to my face. When I put that together with the pivot, it looks like this. I'm going to go slow. Notice how the pivot is timed with the punch. Pivot finishes when the thumb snaps down. Foot goes back down when the hand returns, right? Now together fast. All right, that's how we throw our cross in a stationary position, all right? Now, it becomes a little more tricky when we add the step to it, all right? When we close distance, moving toward our opponent with it, we have to time the foot landing in the pivot, however far our front foot moves, all right? Let me show you what I mean. In our stance, I'm gonna start by stepping that front foot, so I push off my back foot, step the front, however far that front foot goes, the back foot comes up and lands in the pivot as my cross is landed. Just like that. When we're here, I just finish the pivot, bring the hand back to my face, and I'm right where I started, right? I want to finish in the same stance, right? If I move my back foot too far forward, it's going to look like this, right? I'm no longer in my stance, feet too close together, no longer balanced, didn't deliver a good punch, and vice versa. If I move my front foot and I just pivot without moving the foot, looks like this, and I finish in a wide stance, right? So the hard part is just getting the timing and landing that foot in the right position from where your front foot moves, right? Step, landing that pivot, finish the punch. Step, landing in the pivot, finishing the punch, right? Very good power punch right here. This is your cross. Work on it, y'all. Notice how that chin's protected behind that shoulder as she's throwing a real straight punch right out. Left hand, defensive hand is all the way up, right? Now she's gonna speed it up a little bit. See how it pops. Good. Now she's going to step with it. We'll go slower to start. Watch how she times that back foot landing in the pivot as the punch is turned over, protecting your chin, defensive hand high, right? One more. Now she's going to put it all together. Watch how this timing pops. There we go, all the way out. There we go. Good. One more. Good.